That black people don't like talking about, and that's family dysfunction in healthy relationships. I never met my biological father, and when I did research, I found out he never met his father, and he never met his father, and he never met his father. The problem is, my biological father, he lived 1 block from my house, and I didn't know him. 1 block. I think that's a little dysfunctional, don't you think? Yeah. So my brother says he's from Greenwood, Mississippi. My whole family's from Indianola.
Oh, for real?
So I know a lot about Mississippi, especially Medgar Evers, who's one of my favorite, not just people, but that's back then you stood for something. And I've been watching this OJ stuff, man, and just disheartening for me. Yes. That you have that much power that God has blessed you with, and you didn't use it to your advantage. And all the stuff that you thought you was doing came back on you. And I don't wish nothing on the brother, but you know, God has charged all of us to do our jobs. Well, He didn't just put you on this planet just to be taking up space. He put you here for a reason. Now, it's up to you to be living in your purpose. But when I'm talking about family dysfunction, and so let me know when I'm getting close to 20 minutes, because I want to bring you up. We're talking about family dysfunction. We're talking about poverty. We're talking about bad decisions by parents. We're talking about that drunk uncle, where that uncle mess around molesting your sisters or your nieces. We're talking about violence in our families. The negative thought process. Nobody in my family had ever gone to college. So when I go to college, I'm already dealing with the fact that I'm in school trying to make it at Western Kentucky University. And I know I'm on scholarship, but it's hard being in school when you ain't never had it modeled for you. Nobody's taught you how to stay there. And then you come home and you're being teased by family members. You acting white, or you talking like this or talking like that. Illegal activity, incarceration. I can keep going on with all the negative labels that are placed on the family. But Jeremiah 17:11 said we continue to destroy ourselves. It says the partridge sits on eggs and hatches them not. So is he to get riches, and not by right. Shall lead them in the midst of his days, and at his end shall be a fool. So if you keep on going after your illegal stuff don't belong to us anyway. You don't own nothing. You don't even own that seat you sit in. You know, you die today, everything you have on is going to stay here. But we need, on Father's Day weekend, I think it's fitting that pastors having this conference, because a man needs to revisit our responsibility. Because now that I'm married with 3 kids, I can't keep talking about what my father didn't do. It's time for me to move forward. So the psychological, spiritual, and emotional well-being of my children is my responsibility. That's nobody's responsibility but mine. I was speaking in Montgomery, Alabama last Monday. I spoke to about 300 educators on how to keep black boys in school. And when I got off that plane to come back home, and I was trying to get home and watch the games, man, I had changed my flight, paid a little extra so I can get home a couple hours early to catch the game. You know what my daughter asked me? She said, "What you bringing? What we having for dinner?" One thing she didn't ask me is, "Where's your dad? Why wasn't he in your life?" Your kids don't care. It's our job to move past that, but in order to do that, you have to learn how to forgive. And you have to learn how to deal with your own dysfunction, because your character, values, and your vision shapes you as a man anyway. So that means you have to deal with your own dysfunction. And that comes along with pride. Who's the center of your life? Who's the center of your life? You know, is it arrogance? Is it low self-esteem? Or are you concerned about what everybody else is saying about you? See, me and Alonzo grew up in the rough part of town. See, I come from Mississippi, and then I'm in the hood, right? That's a culture shock. You know, we grew up in Brightwood, one of the toughest neighborhoods, not only in Indianapolis, but around the Midwest. We can name a whole list of guys who've been murdered. We can name another list who's gone to prison. But nobody ever talked about the ones who come out and being successful and going back and all the positive things that we're doing. So arrogance, low self-esteem, concerned about what others say about you. Lastly, always putting yourself in the center. See, half of our problem as men is we putting ourselves in the center. And God said, take yourself out of the center and look at it from the outside in, and you'll see it different. Or is it humility? Humility is when you don't care what others have to say about you. Humility is you do what God tells you to do. Humility is walking in God's grace and his love and his forgiveness. Humility is recognizing that you need God's help. I didn't say you need help. I say you need God's help. We have to be careful who we get help from, man. How many of y'all married? How long you been married?
25.
25 years. What about you?
22.
22. How many years?
28.
28. 17. 10. 10. You married? I bet I can think about it. Hey, how old are you, man? 18? I got a son your age. I got an 18-year-old at home. You better not even be thinking about getting married, right? But listen. But I want to teach you while you're young about marriage and about why marriage is important. Right. Now, these men can tell you because all of us have been married 10 years or more. If you don't learn how to say you're sorry, you're not going to make it. Did you hear me, man? 2 words you need to learn how to say, I'm sorry. Yeah. Now listen, I know the camera's rolling, but you got to say you're sorry whether you mean it or not. Yep. See, not saying you're sorry is the difference between watching the playoffs, missing the playoffs. You got to make a choice. Yeah. Right? And I learned that the hard way. But I want to go over a couple things, and I want to bring my man up, Alonzo. When it comes to a man's role in a relationship, and I need especially these young men to hear that. How old are you, my man? 18. 18. Got 2 18-year-olds in here, so you're my son's age. So God first. You got to lead your family, man. It's our job as men. Because I tell you, man, we set the tone everywhere we go. When you see a group of, let me give you an example. If we walk out here right now, and you see a group of about 100 black men walking in unison with suits on, what would you think? Would that get your attention? Why? Unity. And we set the tone, man. We set the tone everywhere we go. When men are there, the tone is set. So we have to be careful with that. So we have to lead our family in prayer because we live in an age of technology. So I get off the road and I come home, I'm eating dinner, we at the table, and sometimes ESPN's playing in the background. See, I got to turn it off because I tell my kids no technology at the dinner table. So I can't be a hypocrite, and I'm telling my kids no technology because many times we do that as fathers. We tell them to do as I say and not as I do. That's not right. We have to lead by example with our young men. So we telling them not to do it, we can't do it. So God first. What does that mean? Prayer, worship, and value start with us. A man's job is to provide, not just financially. Right. Our job is to provide for our wives emotionally, spiritually, physically, mental well-being. That's our job. Number 3, protector. Not just protector of our kids. We got to protect their self-worth. We got to protect their self-esteem. That's our job. Number 4, leader. You got to lead by your actions. I don't have to say a lot. I need to lead by example. And when you run around saying you're running stuff, you're not running nothing. Because if you're running it, you shouldn't have to say you're running. And really, if you're married, you're not running nothing anyway. Man, it is.
All right.
Man, I come home, man, and I go, I travel a lot, and I come home, living room's rearranged. I come back home 2 weeks later, she done changed it again. I come back home a couple weeks later, she done painted the other room. Man, that's what women do, man. I don't understand it. But you know what I do? I stay away from it. Yeah. And I say, hey, that looks nice. Yeah. Well, I'm thinking about doing, hey, sweetie, do whatever makes you comfortable. Happy wife? Happy wife. Come on now. Come on. I know that. I just want to make sure y'all with it. Another job we have is teacher. You teach with your behavior. You teach by setting high standards. I cannot continue to go back and my father was a drunk and he was a womanizer and he was this. No, I got to lead by example. I got to break this cycle of destruction that's tearing down our family. 2 more. Nurturer. Your family should feel your love. You can't just come in being the dictator, gentlemen. How many of you got daughters? You know what I'm talking about, right? You got wives, you got daughters. I know we got sons. We're not saying our sons don't need to be nurtured, but we definitely have to nurture those girls because when that young lady looks at you, you're the first man she fall in love with. So if you chastising mom, you smacking mom, or you cutting mom down with words, that's what kind of man that she's going to look for. We have to be careful with that. Lastly, and it should be first, is integrity. Be honest. Make an honest living. If you make a mistake, say you made a mistake. Stop acting like you're perfect. My daughter gets on me. I got an 8-year-old at home, and she said, Daddy, you got the TV on. I said, I'm sorry, baby. I'm breaking the rules. Turn the TV off. Because sometimes we get caught up, don't we? Yeah. Man, Steph Curry throwing his mouthpiece, and LeBron coming back from 3-1. I ain't believe they can do it. But they did. I wanted Cleveland to win, but I didn't think they can come back 3-1. So I'm all in the TV, but we ain't done it. Daddy, you doing it? I say, I'm sorry, sweetheart, turn the TV off. You know, instead of saying, no, I want to see what Steph Curry got to say. You know, we got to be careful with that. 7 ways a man hurts his wife or significant other. Y'all ready for this? Number 1 is cutting her out of discussions. You know, when your wife's in the room, I'm talking to a group of men, and my wife chime in, I don't say, no, honey, this ain't got nothing to do with it. That's the last thing you want to say. Ain't y'all ever said that before? Yeah, I have too, man. I learned the hard way. Don't ever do that. We cannot cut our significant others out of conversation. And this goes for relationships too. Y'all young men, you ready to catch some stuff, man. I ain't had nobody teaching me this when I was your age. I'm ready to teach you something today. Number 2, you fail to notice the difference she makes with the kids. Around the house, decorating or cleaning the house. Women always want to be acknowledged for what they do around the house. I don't care what they say. Whether they clean the house, decorating the house, whatever. Women want to be recognized for what they've done in the house. Number 3, we underestimate the small things. She often laughs to protect her heart. She hears and feels deeper than you. So a lot of times women will laugh to protect themselves. And you wonder like, oh, everything's cool with me and my wife. And I know we got 18-year-olds in here. I got to keep it 100 though. You ain't been intimate with your wife in over a month. And you wonder what the deal is. You don't know it's something you did a month ago that you ain't dealt with. Because she's laughing her way through it to make you think it's all right, but it's not all right. So you're going to have to sit her down and find out what happened. Unless you want to keep going through the drought. Anybody want to keep going through the drought? All right, let me keep going. Number 4 is when you speak rudely to her. You bruise her spirit over time. You're short with what you say, using a harsh tone. Over time, that tears a woman down. You think, oh, she take a little bit, she take a little bit, she take a little bit, and all of a sudden she gone and you sick. Because women, when they done, they done. R. Kelly wrote a song, when a woman's fed up, he ain't never lied. Yeah. When a woman's fed up, that's it. Yeah. You know, anybody want to sing it? Don't sing it now. Y'all know the words, you know the lyrics. Number 5, you correct her when she's talking instead of letting her finish her thoughts. Speaking for her in front of company. Man, she's not a robot. We're not dictators. She has a voice, let her speak. And many times you want to cut her off in front of company and stuff. That's the last thing you want to do to your wife or your significant other. Number 6, when you act insecure or suspicious, jealous acting. Last thing, I can't stand a jealous acting man. We got to get better than that, y'all. Running around insecure. That's something that's going on inside of us. If you being insecure, or maybe you telling on yourself. A lot of times when the man acts guilty, he's guilty of something. Someone calls, who is that? Secret bank accounts. You go in another room and you get a call. We can't be doing that. Right. My wife knows the codes of my phone. I don't have nothing to hide. Yes, and you know, I'm a national speaker, so I get these crazy messages from women and stuff. I want her to see it. I don't have nothing to hide. She knows my codes. My kids know my codes of my phone. My daughters play on my phone all the time. We got to stop being secretive and hiding stuff, man. We got to put all that stuff out of our lives. And lastly, but not least, this is so important. You admire other women over her. And you say, no, I ain't admiring nobody over my woman. But listen, that fine woman walked through, and she got that tight dress on, and instead of glancing, you staring. Why you acting all brand new, man? You know what I'm talking about. Exactly. Yeah. You got to glance. Yeah. I ain't saying don't look. Your eyes working, you wear glasses. Then you going to see it, ain't you? If you see something coming through there, and we talking, you going to see it. But you can't be staring, man. Come on, man. You got to be respectful. Anybody know what I'm talking about? Yeah. Because I don't care what you're doing. She's looking. She's looking at you and seeing what you're going to do, how you're going to react. You can't do it, man. And you know the best thing I say is don't look. So you admire other women over her. Glance becomes a stare. A wife's heart is tender. She can be easily bruised. And I'm going to ask you, when we're talking to our wives, would you allow another man to talk to your wife like that? And if you wouldn't allow another man to talk to your wife like that, then you shouldn't be doing it. So, lastly, before I bring Alonzo up, path to a healthy marriage. And this is for you young people. And it's for us too. But we're talking about a path to a healthy marriage. I wish somebody had told me this when I was your age, but they didn't. So please listen to this. Healthy marriage. 5 things. Path to a healthy marriage. Number 1, friends first. What I say, man? What I say? Why I say friends first? Why? Okay, I haven't said it yet. Good. That's a good answer. Let me keep going. Good answer, man. Boy, y'all look like twins, man. Boy, you can't deny him. Don't you look just like friends first. Friends first because you don't know her. And many times, I'm guilty of it. And I'm going to see how many honest folks we got in the room. Sometimes we jump in the bed before we even know her name. Anybody ever done that? Why y'all lying, man? What? Don't do your finger like that. The camera see all of it. If you did it, raise your hand. Hold up. I'm going to do this again. Some of y'all lying. Why y'all, man, what I just said? No, I said you got to be honest. If you ever did that, raise your hand. Hey, a few more hands.
Still don't know his name.
A few more hands go up. Listen, man. The problem is with black families, especially black men, we jumping in bed with women we don't know, then we having unwanted pregnancies and everything else, and then we doing it backwards. See, as men, we've been taught, hey, you meet her, you know, I've been a star athlete, played football, ran track, got cut in the pros, all that, so girls coming, right? Yeah. So I'm hooking up, I'm meeting a chick at a party, and an hour later, we in bed. I don't even know her. I don't know her name. I mean, yeah, I'm using protection, but still, that protection ain't 100%. I don't know her name, and I can name some stars that I can, you know, I ain't gonna name the stars on camera, but I can name some folks that you'd be surprised like what people do, right? Friends first, man, because you don't know her. You don't know nothing about her. Just because she look good don't mean that you know, some stuff you can't get rid of. I don't care how good she look. Friends first. Number two, you date. After you friends, you get to know her a little bit, then you start dating her. Why you dating her? Because you keep it at your own pace. And you keep your own place. Stop moving in with these chicks, man. Until you get married. You know why? Because you break up, you make up, and you go through all that. You need your own spot. You need somewhere you can put your own key in the door. You need some peace. You like peace or you like strife? Which one you like? How many of you take peace over strife? That means you need your own place. So you friends, then you dating, then guess what happens after you date? You get engaged. Why you get engaged? You get engaged because you still don't know if she's going to be the one. So you get engaged. And when you engage, you keep your own place. Right? So what's number one?
Friends first.
Friends first. What's number two? Date. Because some of us it's too late. We in it now. We did it backwards, forwards, whatever. We in it. We in it now. We done lived with chicks. We've done all kinds of stuff. So you friends first, then you date, then you get engaged. Then what happens?
Get married.
You get married, man. You get married. And then when you get married, you continue to date. You don't get married and just have kids right away. Right. Because you still get to know her, man. Exactly. So you married, and you married for about 3 or 4 or 5 years. Then you decide if you want to have kids. When you first get married and you're young, you really don't have yourself established. Right. I mean, I'm 45 years old. I'm established. I'm doing well. But man, when I got married, man, I wasn't established like I am now. So you're still trying to find your way. So friends first, date, engage, get married. Then what? Have your kids, family. I wish somebody had told me that. Because I did it backwards. I done met chicks, kicked it with them, kicked it with their friends. You know what I mean? I've done some crazy stuff, man. So why y'all looking at me all strange? Y'all done some wild stuff too. Especially being an athlete. Lonzo know what I'm talking about. We both play football. So when we talk about healthy relationships, this is the last thing I want to mention to you. Healthy relationships, you got to have respect. They're built on respect, trust, honesty, fairness, support, compromise, and effective communication. Communication should be number one. So out of those lines, I want you to tell me which one is most important to you, gentlemen. Respect, trust, honesty, fairness, support, compromise, communication. Which one is more important to you? Respect, trust, honesty, fairness, support, compromise, communication. What's more important? One. Communication. What about you?
The same.
Communication. What about you, my man? Respect. Communication. Compromise. Communication. Honesty. Respect. What about your wife? Which one more important to her? That's what don't be looking at Scott. Scott didn't do it. That's what we need to find out. So what's important to us, what it said, men are from Venus, women from Mars, whatever. What's important to us may not be as important to her. Now, if I had to deal with one on this list, it would have to be compromise. If I had to deal with it. And communication. intertwined. If you're not effectively communicating, you're not compromising, you're going to be in the drought. How many of y'all like being in the drought? All right, plan a healthy marriage. Before I come on up, Lonzo. Healthy marriage, what I say? What's number one for young people? Friends first, then what? Then date, then what? Then what? Then what? Have kids. After you're married for a while, keep dating, all right? God bless you, gentlemen. Come on up, bro.
Let's give it up for
Appreciate
him.
it.
Let's give it up for him. Before we leave, I know you gotta get out of here. Let's take a real quick picture.
Okay, yeah, no doubt.
So our first event we working together, and I'm looking forward to a lot more. Thank you.
Bless you, brother. I'm gonna check you out for a minute before I
Yes,
go.
sir. Yes, sir. All right, man. Boy, let's give it up to him for one more time. Give it up to him.
Appreciate you,
Yeah,
gentlemen.
man, it was awesome, and I was man, looking forward to him speaking a little bit more because I was getting all these notes and he don't know I was married for 8 years the first time, so I've been there 18 years.
Oh boy.
So you know, it's always refreshing. It's always refreshing to get more other people's ideals on how to do this thing because it's a lot of books out there, but you know, like he said, women, you got to figure out who they are, figure out what they want, and every woman is different. So whatever you give your wife, whatever she wants, it's gonna be different from mine. So I just appreciate Brother Jackson coming up here and giving us some insight to dysfunctions in the family, and he gave us a lot of good tips. And hopefully you guys take some of these tips and take advantage of it. If there's some negative things going on with you, try it. You know, the one thing I've always heard, and I thought was very profound, is, you know, you keep doing the same thing, you're going to have the same results.
Right.
I mean, that's a fact. We all have to understand that if you keep doing the same things, you're going to have the same results. That's a fact. A little bit about myself real quick. Like I said, I played college football. Ain't no way I was going to play after that. My brother can walk right now. I played college football, graduated from Kentucky State, coached college ball, coached at Kentucky State, coached at Butler University, running backs for 4 years, went all over the place with them guys. Was dysfunction at home. And just about lost my wife and got out of that football, college football as a monster. So I made some changes. Start coaching semi-pro football. Had my own coaching at a team and ran for 4 years. Actually, Robert came and tried out one time when we first started at Addicts. Youth football, director of operations for CAW Youth Football. And I own Popcornopolis in Calvert Mall. If you ever had that popcorn, it's some great stuff. I have done a few things out there that I'm proud of, but at the same time, what I'm gonna bring to you guys today is I want to talk about unity in the community. Unity. One of the problems that we have here in our community, in our city, is our unity. And I'm related to our kids, but at the same time, it's a little bit everywhere. Everything, from work, from politics, from church, school, we're missing out on that unity. We're missing out on working together. And I talk about, you know, I'm gonna be straight up. I'm talking about we having problems working together as black men. Okay, so we have all these young people, and I'm gonna kind of be jumping all over the place because I don't have much time, but I want to make sure I hit a couple of key points. But that old saying, that saying that you always hear, "Am I my brother's keeper?" You always hear that. And what do you hear? Nah, man, I gotta worry about myself. I got all this going on. I got all these problems. I got all this. I don't need to be worrying about my brother, my friend, this other guy next to me. We're having a problem with that right now, a major problem. our kids are being affected by it tremendously. They're being affected by that. If you, at this time, and working in all the areas that I'm working in when it comes to, I work for the Parks Department, I work at the football league, you know, all these kids, it's just bombarding me so much right now that we cannot work together. We cannot unite and figure out how to make some changes. And we know, all of us know we need some changes right now. We need some major changes. And I'm going to focus on today is that one of our major problems is coming together and working together. Got a football league over 400 some kids. Basketball league, 80 kids, 8 teams. And I can't find anybody to try to come work with the kids. Put it in the newspaper, everything. I can't find people to come and work with the kids. We get up here and we can get up here and talk about this, talk about that. We have to figure out how to work together. We have to figure out how to unite to be able to help these kids and help the next generation turn this thing around. And it's going to take everybody. Everybody has their different ways of different things they do. Some people are academic. Some people are hands-on. Some people are deal with the computers. Whatever you've been blessed with, we need to come together as black men and figure out a plan how we can unite to help our young people. We have boys out here that have no respect for each other. How would they, Robert talked about it, respect, that's the reason why I pick respect. It's so powerful. How would our kids learn how to be respectful? From a book? No, they're going to learn how to be respectful from us, even you 18-year-olds, because you got 17 down is looking up to you. So we got to figure out how to teach them and how to show them how to be respectful. When we can't unite, when we can't work together, and we can't come together as coaches, as general managers, or whatever it is, we can't show them, they're going to have to try to figure it out themselves. And obviously, they're not figuring it out the right way. Obviously, they're not figuring it out the right way. So what we have to do as men in the community, what we're trying to do, I'm more of a, I don't want to talk about it. I want to get out there and figure it out. I want to get out there and do it. I want to get out there and come together with a lot of men to figure out how we're going to help these guys. So our purpose right now, and what from this point on, we have a great opportunity to say, okay, from this day on, I'm going to do something to help change why we can't work together. You might be on the east side, somebody might be on the west side, somebody might be on the north side. That's why everybody's asking, you know, all these different programs. I say we need all of them, and some. We need even more and more and more programs. Because they keep doing the same thing. We got thousands and thousands of kids that are lost and killing each other. So I would love this. If you want an idea, come and get the same idea that I have, and just go keep running with it. On the east side, the west side. I got 4 programs that I'm working on right now. 4 different programs. And if it's 2 or more that I can handle, my wife gonna let me, I'm gonna put my effort in there. But we have to learn how to work together. If you don't take anything from me today, if there's a barrier, when you get trying to accomplish something, trying to do something for our young people today, if you feel like that you having an issue working with somebody, get past it. Mm-hmm. You have to get past that because we have to learn how to, that's the only way we're going to attack this thing. I got this minister is always talking about being radical. I'm like, yeah, that's powerful. Only way we can make a change, we got to be radical. We got to change. We got to do something outside the box. You know what's outside the box right now? It's working together. We don't do it. We get up, and I'm guilty of it. We get up, and we talk about it. Then we go home or whatever. But how many times have we got all these guys together to really put together a plan, not just to walk up and down the street. Put together a plan that's going to be strategic and consistent. Because our young men don't see consistency at all. We hit and miss so much. Man, I'm there for you. Oh man, I missed 3, 4, 5. I'm there for you. Consistency is so important when you're trying to come together, especially as black men. Working with young men every day in the park, every day. They want some consistency. You know what's consistent? Negative, drugs, violence, sex, all the things that shouldn't be, that's not good for them, is consistent. What's inconsistent is black men doing what they're supposed to do and showing these guys what they're supposed to be doing. That's what's inconsistent. It just doesn't weigh right for me. So what I try to do is be consistent as I can, even if it's hard on them. Get your pants up. You cannot come in this building without your pants being pulled up. No cuss words. Well, it was just a little bit. No. Consistent. It don't have to be a consistent, I'm nice to you. We need to be consistent on being firm with our guys because they can read us quicker than anybody can read us. Today, I'm going to let you get away with coming in here smelling like plenty of weed. Tomorrow, I'm going to be on you. But today, consistency. Coming together, persistent and being consistent on getting a change. Working with young men like Robert Jackson every day since 1989. Been doing 20-some years, working with young men in Illinois, Kentucky. And it has been something. I tried to go sell cars. Good money. But purpose. Find out what your purpose is. Right. First of all, if you don't know that your purpose is working with young people and working with men and trying to do something positive, you mess scratching with it right now because you're here. It might be your purpose to bring guys together. Your group of guys, whatever you can do, however you can make a big change here in the community, in the city. Whatever your purpose is. Let's figure out what the purpose is. But completely understand that all the things that you want to do, you can't do it by yourself. We have to come together. I got my card here. They gave me my couple minutes. I got my card here. I want to give everybody a card. Make sure you know that I am willing to do whatever. I'm willing to come to Mississippi. I ain't going to do what Robert, he's all over the country. But I'm willing to come to Mississippi and talk to some young men. Because it's all about coming together and being consistent and persistent about what your purpose is. Not for just you, it's for the betterment of the community. I grew up in Wrightwood. I live on, my son goes to Center Grove. I live south, way out. But every day where I work on 2030 MLK every day. This is what I do. I chose to go out there for a personal reason. But this is what I do. This is what I do. Work in this community, bless this community, try to help this community, because this is where I come from. Unity in the community. We're having a major problem with that, and that means that we need to come together as fast as possible. Each and every one of us, even you young guys, you can start 2 programs yourself. You can start 2 programs yourself. By the time you're my age, you can have 10, 15 programs. Sit down and figure out what you can do to help these young people from killing each other. Each and every one of us need to do the same thing. Sit down and evaluate what we can do, open our minds, and understand that we got to get outside the box, outside of your comfort zone, and do something different, something radical. Because every day they're killing each other. And you might have some of the answers to slow it down. Not saying we're going to stop them all, but if everybody gets in their what they're comfortable with and their purpose, we can make a change. And whenever you start it, make sure you're persistent and consistent as much as possible, to the point where people are getting on your nerves. Dr. White was saying it earlier. Ain't nobody going to like it. I've been doing this CAW football for the last 11 years. And a couple of coaches came to me and said, guys all up in top, nobody like it. I'm not in it for people to like me. I've been doing it for 11 years. 300-400 kids do the math. We got guys in college. Hopefully someone's going to hit the pros. We've been blessed. Don't worry about what everybody thinks. Take care of home. Make sure your home ain't a mess. But get out there and give everything you got. The goal for me today was to come to make sure that everybody understand that we need to start working together more and more and more so we can make a change in this community. I appreciate Mr. Robert Jackson. It's like he said earlier, it's not a whole bunch of them to talk about, just a few that are getting out there and it's on the pavement and just fighting for these young people. But I don't know if you got my text of it. I said, I'm proud of you. I sent something to you. I don't know if you got it or not.
On Facebook?
Yeah, I don't know.
I didn't get it, bro.
It was email or text. And I told you I was proud of you. I wonder if you didn't get it. I'm proud that you were doing what you're doing, because it's not a whole bunch of us, and we need to do it. And who's better to get out there than the ones that's been there, and you know that coach, that uncle, that guy in the neighborhood, whoever it was, that helped inspire me, to push me to make a change and do better. Thank you once again, guys. I'm all over. I didn't look at my paper that one time. I'm all over the place, but I want to make sure you understand the most important thing is being persistent, consistent, and trying to work together with other people. It's going to make a difference. Whether you see it or not, it's going to make a great and major difference. Okay? Thank you, guys.
What questions you have, man? We got a few minutes
Yeah.
for questions, so we have to get back in the auditorium or the area. Any questions?
Questions?
Yes, sir.
I got a statement I want to make about the unity, because it's been my vision to have a citywide meeting.
Yes, sir.
With all the groups that have been formed as far as helping the youth together. Sure. And my vision is that if we can get everyone together in one big room, where we can network, where we can share ideals, get together. Not only that, but show our kids that we can work together, because I think one of the problems we do have is we don't work together. And a lot of times I think our egos get in the way. It may be that dysfunction from 400 years of slavery, whatever the case may be. I just feel that if we get all those, I know a bunch of guys got groups that got serving 100 kids, 200 kids. We can get all of us in the room together and make this a citywide thing. Not just this group here, not just that group there, a citywide thing, because it's going to take all of us to get this thing right. This thing is messed up.
Not to cut you off, but
that's okay.
If you need to start.
Okay.
Because the problem is we know what we should do, whatever. We need to start. Even if you get 1 or 2 to start off.
Okay.
Then when you build 3 to 4, 5 to 10, what you have to. If that's your goal, that's your purpose. Get it started.
All right.
I'm gonna give you my card. You have Robert's card, Reverend Howard's card. Boom. That's 3 different other guys that are touching so many young people. And we can probably bring somebody in. You get it started and call the people that you know and say, this is what I talked to you, this is what I'm trying to do, this is the vision. Hey, but it has to get started from you if it's just 1 or 2 people.
And the synergy's got to be right.
Yes, sir.
You know, when you know, Lonzo and I are doing some of the same work, so we collaborate. You know, trying to get him to do some stuff for me, I'm doing stuff for him, and getting schedules together. But the synergy is important. Yeah. I speak on the national stage, and I had a brother say, man, I want you to come along on board with me, man. He told me he didn't believe in God, man. I said, I can't roll with that, man. You know what I mean? I got to, you know, to keep it real. I had another engagement in Houston. They was paying me $5 grand, man, to come and speak. And he said, you can't mention God in your presentations. I said, I ain't coming. He said, I'm paying you $5,000. I said, I don't care if you're paying me $5 million. I said, I grew up with nothing. But you know, I'm nothing without him.
Right.
And you know, I'm just not gonna compromise my values when it comes to God.
Right.
You know what I mean? And I think we need to stop selling out. And I'm very observant. And you know, I love Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan is one of my favorite basketball players that ever lace him up in my eyes. You know, I came through that era. Right. I didn't come through the Big O era. And I know the Big O was a beast too. I see some of the men in the back. He got some little C's, and the Big O was a beast. But Michael Jordan was it for me. But what I don't like about MJ, and I met him twice, what I don't like is same thing I don't like about OJ. You're not standing up for something.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? As men, if you don't stand for something, you'll fall for anything. You know what I mean? And, you know, on these issues and what's going on with Michael Jordan, can go to the south side of Chicago right now and said, stop killing each other. Stop killing each other over my shoes. He say that. Somebody's going to listen. I ain't say it's going to stop all the killing in Chicago, but it's going to stop something.
It'll start somewhere. Yeah.
You'll be surprised the impact that you make. And I ain't nowhere near the status of Michael Jordan, but I travel around the country, around the world speaking. But when a young man, 18, impressionable, hear me saying, you know, I grew up without a father, but I still made it. I used to shoot at people. I've been arrested, but I'm still successful. I live in Geist instead of Brightwood, you know what I mean? But I still go back. We have to make sure that we're protecting our young people because they like sponges. So make sure the synergy's right.
That's right.
I deal with folks, Pastor Danielle Howard, that's my little brother. Wherever I go, he going. Because, you know, my conference I do, he speaks at every year, and we're going to go to Hopkinsville, Kentucky. We're going to go to, you know, they trying to get us, bring it to New York and Florida. I said, man, I'm going to take these guys with me. That's what it's all about. Right. It's all about, hey, let's roll.
You are your brother's keeper.
Read $40 million slave. Yeah.
Say it again.
$40 million slave.
Yes, sir.
Any other questions? Any other questions, guys?
Yeah, I think somebody had their hand up. Young people, questions? Y'all learn anything today, man? You learned about relationships, didn't you? And they change like the wind. You know how the wind blows? That's how a woman changes her mind. So when she say no, man, just let it go, man. Don't sweat it. Told my son that last night. Yeah, we just getting done.
Don't forget, guys, that you are powerful even at 18 years old.
Oh, you said you want to get some books?
You don't want to think
here.
that you can't make a difference. You can make a great difference starting now.
Homeboy now,
That's when I
Greenwood.
started. When I started,
How the hell we
I was
been
15
sitting
years
in
old.
something?
Right now, look back.
Red clay.
You can make a difference right now.
Still my summer
So many
visit.
people are looking up to you. Okay? So good luck, and I know you're going to do some good things. You're already starting on the right track.
God bless
Thanks
you,
again,
guys.
guys.
God bless you.